drug in the US and the impact of demonetization on the business, if any. Mrs. Shaw, hi, thank you very much for joining in. This, in fact, is our first conversation since the company filed for trastuzumab, the biosimilar for breast cancer with the US FDA. When do you expect approval from the US, and what is the expected market share post-approval according to you?
Well, you know, this is a very, very important milestone for Biocon and Mylan because it's the first submission of a biosimilar trastuzumab dossier to the US FDA. The review process can take anywhere between 18 to 24 months. We are hoping that it will be sooner than later. Having said that, we do expect all things going well, that we should be able to get into the market as the first biosimilar, and that opens up a big opportunity for us. But in terms of market share, you know, there are lots of unknowns. Obviously, you know, there is a huge opportunity for biosimilars in the US market. If you go by what's happening today with already approved biosimilars, there is a huge uptake of biosimilars. Organizations like Kaiser have already adopted almost 90% of approved biosimilars. And so it's a very exciting opportunity for Biocon and Mylan to take a large part of this market. And of course, given the fact that there are you know, a few others who will also be joining us in this particular market for biosimilar trastuzumab, we do expect there to be competition, but I also believe that there's a very large opportunity for Mylan and Biocon in terms of garnering market share.
Okay. Mrs. Shaw, just sticking with the biosimilars opportunity, trastuzumab is the fourth biosimilar filing for the company in developed markets, which is basically US and Europe. And in fact, it is the first that you filed in the US. So could you detail to us what is the status of biosimilar filings by the company across other markets, including, say, emerging markets and most recently insulin glargine in the US as well?
So if you look at what we've done, pegfilgrastim is another biosimilar that we filed in with the EMA, and we expect to do that with US FDA very soon. We've also filed, as you know, insulin glargine with EMA, and as you mentioned, we will be hopefully submitting that with US FDA before too long. And we have other products in the pipeline which are also under development, like other insulin analogs and other antibodies. So all going well, obviously we expect to file all of these within the next fiscal or two. You know, that's the plan. And when it comes to these products and their approvals in emerging markets, we expect that as soon as we get you know, either of the EMEA or US FDA approvals, EMEA before US FDA is what is anticipated, then we will get automatic approvals in many, many emerging markets. But having said that, we are already present in a large number of emerging markets with many of these products. Trastuzumab, of course, is a product where we are already in the Algerian market, but there are other opportunities in other emerging markets, and we expect that to happen sooner than later. Very large opportunity for these products in the emerging markets because these are billion-dollar opportunities for sure, even in the emerging markets collectively. So I think it's a very important opportunity for Biocon's business in terms of focusing on these biosimilars, and of course we are expanding the biosimilar pipeline as we speak so that we keep adding to this list.
Ma'am, good morning. Prashant also joining in. Has the company been impacted due to demonetization? We understand sales of chronic therapies have spiked, as compared to some of the acute therapies.
Not really, not, you know, maybe, you know, the dependence on our Indian business is quite small. And none of our export businesses have actually been impacted, as you can imagine, by demonetization. So I would say that given our exposure to the Indian market being very small, we haven't seen much of an impact. But having said that, yes, our India business certainly has been impacted over the last month. which we are seeing by lower sales. So yes, to a certain extent, our chronic therapy usage has been impacted by a small extent, but since our dependence on this business is not huge, it doesn't impact the overall business. In fact, we have benefited from a weaker rupee in terms of our export realizations.
Any guidance, ma'am, on the domestic business and how it will fare in the third quarter with the impact of demonetization and also halting of cancer drug, Abraxane, sales in the second quarter, ma'am?
Yeah, Abraxane actually has had a huge impact on our India business because it was a large component of our oncotherapeutics portfolio. So that definitely has a big impact for the rest of the year. And therefore, we are going to see a decline in growth in terms of our branded formulations business because of this one impact. But having said that, we are now basically focusing on building our insulins and our other onco drugs, especially Canmab, which is our biosimilar trastuzumab, and we basically expect to see pretty good growth going forward. We have been rationalizing our business. We've had certain leadership challenges in the branded formulations business, but all of that is getting addressed, and hopefully you will see a strong growth next fiscal.
Will margins be maintained at above 20% levels in second half then?
Well, without really sort of discussing it too much, I would say that we are very, confident that we will sustain both our revenues, margins that you saw last quarter. We hope to at least sustain those levels in terms of our operations.
Okay, finally, Mrs. Shaw, if you could leave us with some guidance on SinGene. Growth was around 14% last quarter. What is a sustainable run rate for the remaining 2 quarters? And what's your guidance on margins there as well?
Well, I think SinGene is poised for a good growth. I think certainly double-digit growth is something they will definitely deliver on. I think margins are looking very healthy, and I think what you've seen in the past few quarters is along those kind of lines that you will see going forward. As you know, they've also enrolled some very good additional anchor clients like Amgen. And I think basically SinGene is becoming a very differentiated play in the market. And so they continue to grow their leadership in the research services field.
Okay. All right, Mrs. Shaw, we're going to let you go on that note. Thank you very much for joining in and speaking with us. So that is the management of Biocon talking about how biosimilars would be the real opportunity for the next 2 years. Remember, it's been a complete rank outperformer this year, Biocon, within the entire pharma space. We'll take a break now, but we'll continue our focus on the markets once we're back. Stay tuned.